Hey y'all, it is prime peach season and prime entertaining season, and I have the best recipe for both of those worlds. Peach skillet coffee cake. You do not want to miss it. Let's get to baking. Okay, backstory on this peach skillet coffee cake. It is a recipe from the 1960s from Southern Living. An oldie, but a goodie. There are a few things about the recipe that I am going to tweak to bring it up to 2021 modern times. The first thing I'm gonna change, it calls for a 1 pound can of peaches. So I have an amazing peach tree in my backyard and I am not about to use canned peaches. Let's go outside and pick some peaches for this recipe and get started. Okay, so I bought my house 4 years ago, and honestly, one of the biggest selling factors was that the house already had a huge peach tree in the yard. I'm gonna hop up on this ladder and get these peaches. Look at these, they look so good. This peach skillet coffee cake calls for 1 pound can of sliced peaches. The easiest way to peel a peach is to get the bottom, make an incision in the shape of an X, like this, and then put your peaches in some boiling water, and we're gonna boil them for about a minute, just enough to soften the skins, and you'll see this kind of peel back, and then those X, you'll be able to peel this off really easily. You'll be able to get your peach skin off. Oh my gosh, look, exactly 1 pound. Perfect. Okay, moving on to the next step of the recipe. Okay, so I dumped the water that I cooked my peaches to peel the skin, and I'm just using the same pot to do this next step of the recipe, which is adding my sliced peaches into the pot, and then a 1/2 cup of sugar. And I'm gonna turn on the heat and let this cook and let the sugar dissolve and keep it warm while I work on the rest of my batter. Okay, while my peaches are staying warm on the stove, I am going to cream together 1.5 cups of granulated sugar with 3/4 cup of softened butter. Once your butter and sugar are all the way creamed, you can go ahead and add your egg. It is 1 egg, 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Perfect. Now I have to mix up my dry ingredients, which include 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, and a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. It's ready to go into my batter. I have 1 5-ounce can of evaporated milk. The recipe calls for 1 can, and the standard size is 12 ounces, so I'm going to mix 5 ounces of evaporated milk with 7 ounces of whole milk and use that milk. So I'm adding my dry ingredients alternately with my milk. So that's about 1/2 of my flour that I'm adding to this batter, and I'm going to mix it until it's fully incorporated. Then I'll add all of my milk, and then I'll add the remaining flour into this batter. And there we have it, our coffee cake batter. My batter is done, and I have my greased springform pan. The original recipe calls for an electric skillet, which I do not have. So I'm going for a springform pan to bake in the oven. And I'm spreading my batter into this greased pan. Then the recipe calls to spoon my warm peaches over the top of this cake batter. So yummy, look at that. Okay, since the original recipe gives me directions for baking in an electric skillet, so I don't really know how long the coffee cake is gonna take. My guess is gonna be about 30 to 45 minutes in a 350-degree oven, but we're gonna find out. While it is in the oven, I'm going to get started on the crumble that is gonna go on the top that I do have to put about halfway through the baking process. So here we go into the oven. Okay, for this streusel topping, I have in a medium-sized bowl 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour, 1/2 cup of firmly packed light brown sugar, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/4 cup of cold butter that I'm going to cut into this mixture with a pastry cutter. So this is gonna make my crumble mixture. So since the original recipe called for the almonds, but I'm using pecans, I want to go ahead and put the pecans inside of this crumble instead of doing them on the top. It called for a 1/4 cup. I'm probably doing like a 1/3 cup of nuts. I just think it'll be real good. Cake has been baking for about 40 minutes. I'm gonna pull it out. Yum. I think it's gonna need about an hour, which is perfect because this crumble, I want it to bake for about 20 minutes. So I'm putting this all on the top of this coffee cake. Oh my goodness, y'all. Look at this. And then I'm gonna go back in the oven for about 20 more minutes to give this like a total bake time of about an hour. If it's not done, I'll just leave it in until it is done. Coffee cake just came out of the oven. It took a total of 65 minutes. So I had 25 minutes with the streusel topping on there. I'm gonna let this cool for about 30 minutes in the springform pan so it's cool enough to the touch. And then I can loosen it from the springform pan to let it cool completely on a wire rack. So I will catch y'all on the flip side. It's been about 30 minutes, so I am releasing the Kraken. Look at that. Oh my goodness. It looks delicious. Okay, here we have it. Look at this. I mean, yum. I'm gonna model it. Look at this, yummy peaches kind of sunk into it. Let's go. Wow. It tastes like coffee cake, but it also kind of has that like peach cobbler, like peach biscuit cobbler sort of taste. That streusel topping with the cinnamon, it's like just enough cinnamon that's like a good warmth. The crunchy streusel topping, and then that like cakey, but like not dense and super soft crumb of the coffee cake. Plus it's still warm. I said I was gonna let it cool all the way, but I only let it cool for 30 minutes in the springform pan. Took it out. It's like warm but not hot. Oh my gosh, if you made this for anyone, they would love it. It is good for breakfast, it is good for dessert. Coffee is the best pairing. Would also be great with bourbon, with amaretto, with frangelica, especially if you put the almonds. The amaretto would be so nice on there. Sweet tea. The sky is the limit with this peach thing. Farmer Wayno's in here like peeking around the corner because, you know, he helped me over there on the peach tree and he is like inching his way to come and taste this peach coffee cake because this is like has his name written all over it. Before he throws a fit because he wants to eat this cake, you know what to do if you like this video. Like, comment, subscribe, share. If you're watching on YouTube, click the bell. If you have any ideas for other vintage recipes from Southern Living that you want to see me do on Hey Y'all and give a modern twist to, of course, let me know in the comments. Tag me on Instagram @IvyOdom. I will see y'all next week doing, I'm not really sure quite yet what it is, but I'll be there. See y'all soon. Bye, y'all. So good. So good. You wanna try? Come on. What do you think? You heard it straight from Farmer Wayno's mouth. All right, y'all. Bye, y'all. Tell them bye.
Bye, y'all.